love. Now, I know many of you saying, what do you mean by love? Because people have so many different understandings of love. What I am talking about is not the powerless, the weak, and the anemic love. No, no, no. I'm talking about be love and implement the demands of justice. Be love and use your power to correct everything that stands against love. The urgency of now is to dig in and create the beloved community by rising up to be love. Let's go forward in this moment and bridge the divides. Let's go forward to create the beloved community. Let's go forward and rise up to be love.
So my brothers and my sisters, as we embrace this urgency of creating the beloved community, now is the time to be love. Love means understanding redemptive goodwill toward all which seeks nothing in return. So be love by implementing the demands of justice to eliminate the school to prison pipeline that has so many black children entrapped. Be love by correcting voting policies that seek to suppress the votes of millions of black and brown people. Be love and implement the demands of justice by transforming a society that is disproportionately violent toward black lives, including black transgendered lives and indigenous lives. Be love and correct false narratives and economic policies that continue to divide and pit poor and working class black and white people against each other. Be love and implement demands of justice where systems and structures are deconstructed and lead the way of living in community that reimagines just, humane, equitable, and sustainable policies, practices, and behaviors. Love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them who hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and abuse you. Be love and do justice and love mercy and walk humbly with our God.
The Martin Luther King Jr. federal holiday is a day on to educate, advocate, activate. The King Holiday extends beyond the one day and beyond the United States to encompass global, comprehensive, strategic work to eradicate the triple evils of poverty, extreme materialism, racism, and militarism to create the beloved community.
As recent events have shown us, we cannot wait. The most pressing issues of our time demand that humanity envision, strategize, and organize toward a more just, humane, equitable, and peaceful society with nonviolence as the pathway to that world.
We encourage people across the globe to use the MLK holiday and the days following as a way to engage in meaningful service, to advance the important work of groups, organizations, and entities that are engaged in initiatives to address systemic issues that have created disparity and perpetuated inequality.
What are we celebrating on MLK Day?
We are really remembering and reflecting upon a gentleman
who gave us a means of coexisting together as a humanity. You know, how do we really get along and cooperate with all of these different beliefs and ideologies? That's really what we're commemorating.
President Reagan made Martin Luther King Day official at a Rose Garden ceremony today. Mr. Reagan had expressed early reservations about honoring the slain civil rights leader with a national holiday, but he signed the bill that had passed both the House and Senate by large margin.
In 1994, Congress passed the King Holiday Observance Act.
This celebration of Dr. King will now be a celebration of his vision of community, his vision of service, and his life proves that it will work for all Americans and for our country.
The bill was introduced by Congressman John Lewis and Senator Harris Warford, both of whom worked alongside Dr. King in civil rights activism. Participation in the MLK Day of Service has grown steadily over the past decade, with hundreds of thousands of Americans each year engaging in projects such as tutoring and mentoring children, painting schools and senior centers, delivering meals, building homes, and reflecting on Dr. King's life and teachings.
It's time to put ego and pride and fear and power aside and employ love and justice. My father reminds us that power at its best is love, implementing the demands of justice. And justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against love.
Community engagement also includes initiatives in the form of peaceful protest, awareness and education projects, and philanthropy efforts to address critical health, education, human service, human rights, and environmental needs. We want this engagement to continue beyond the holiday and for volunteers to commit to having impact in their communities year-round.
So these young people are being prepared differently than I was because they live in a different time. But the most important thing they have to decide is not just to get an education and to be selfish about it, but that they must prepare themselves to give back and to make a difference in the world. We have to create what my husband called the beloved community. If we are to survive, we have to learn how to solve our problems and resolve our conflicts in a nonviolent manner. And so I think it's important for them to realize that they have a personal responsibility.
The MLK Day is a defining moment when many commit to service. We believe it will spark continual volunteerism that is strategic and impactful for the greater good, so we can build resilient, equitable, and sustainable communities worldwide.
I'm Dr. Bernice A. King.
And I'm Dr. Kimberly P. Johnson.
And we are the co-authors of
It Starts With Me. Well, it starts with me.
No, I think it really starts with me.
No.
Well, maybe it just starts with you.
It starts with you.
This is a book for children and the rest of the world about love. A powerful word that really can change and transform our world. Now, this girl here is Amora. So Amora is going to take us on a journey around the world with her friends, talking about how we can be loved.
Thank you so much for reading this book. It Starts With Me. Dr. King's vision is coming to life, and you guys are going to carry that vision into the world. Have fun reading.
We want our children and you parents to be loved in the way you speak, in the way you act, and in the way you think. That's what it starts with me about. It starts with me. I am the one who infects the world with love.
It starts with me.
So my brothers and my sisters, as we embrace this urgency of creating the beloved community. Now is the time to be love. Love means understanding, redemptive goodwill toward all which seeks nothing in return. So be love by implementing the demands of justice to eliminate the school to prison pipeline that has so many black children entrapped. Be love by correcting voting policies that seek to suppress the votes of millions of black and brown people. Be love and implement the demands of justice by transforming a society that is disproportionately violent toward black lives, including black transgendered lives and indigenous lives. Be love and correct false narratives and economic policies that continue to divide and pit poor and working class black and white people against each other. Be love and implement demands of justice where systems and structures are deconstructed and lead the way of living in community that reimagines just, humane, equitable, and sustainable policies, practices, and behaviors. Love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them who hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and abuse you. Be love and do justice and love mercy and walk humbly with our God.
How's everybody doing today? I'm Mina Bryant, Media Relations and Communications for the King Center. I'd like to welcome all of you today to the 2026 official King Holiday Observance. You all could be anywhere today, but you decided to spend your time here with us, and for that, we are truly appreciative. Today, we'll go over the King Holiday Observance week-long events, but first, I would like to introduce a few of our program participants and sponsors. When I call your name, please stand. Dr. Shanika Perry of Hands on Atlanta. Ms. Helen Butler from the People's Agenda. Mr. Reginald Chappelle, Superintendent of National Park Services, MLK National Park Services. Georgia State Representative, Mr. Billy Mitchell. Tamara Orange from the MLK March Committee. Tamara's here. She's out there? Okay. Then we have Ms. Jill Savitt, CEO of the National Center for Civil and Human Rights. Ms. Paige Alexander, CEO of the Carter Center. Paige. And I would like to now acknowledge a few of our sponsors who are here. They will give remarks later in the program. We have Ms. LaShonda Dawkins, Chief Administrative Officer of MARTA. Ms. Marianne Balbo, the President of Clear Channel Outdoors, the Atlanta market. And last but not least, I would like to introduce Mr. Jose Gamio and Mr. Nick Miller. Can you please stand? Are they here today? They're representing Dollar Tree, one of our beloved community sponsors. I'd like to now introduce our CEO, Dr. Bernice A. King, to the stage. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Andres Washington to the stage. Okay. Oh, sorry. Andres Washington. He'll give the week-long events. He'll come to the stage, and then Hayat will give information about our service project for the week. Now I'd like to introduce our CEO, Dr. Bernice A. King, and she'll give brief remarks.
I hate to tell her, they're not brief. We're in a serious moment. Thank you so much, Mina. I appreciate everything. Good morning, everybody. And thank you for joining us for the King Center's official launch of the 2026 King Holiday Observance. I also want to thank our partners and sponsors for joining us today. And after each one of them speaks, I'll return to introduce a few of our special partnerships and initiatives. This year marks what would have been my father's 97th birthday and the 41st observance of the federal holiday in his honor. Members of my team, as was mentioned, will come before you shortly to share about the programs and events we will be hosting. My role is to set the tone and issue the charge today. And so as we kick off the King Holiday Observances, I stand before you with a mandate, a moral charge, a national and global summons, because the hour is too dangerous, the divisions too deep, the despair too widespread for anything less. I summon all of us not as citizens of divided nations, but as members of one endangered human family standing at the crossroads of consequence. As our nation enters another year marked by social strain, economic uncertainty, global conflict, and moral confusion, the 2026 King Holiday Observance is more critical than ever because we are living in a time when violence, displacement, and dehumanization are being normalized. People across this nation feel the weight of division, the erosion of trust, and the fear that our shared future is slipping away. In that context, our 2026 theme, Mission Possible 2, Building Community, Uniting a Nation the Nonviolent Way, is not just timely, it is essential. We are living in a world trembling under the weight of conflict, corruption, climate crisis, economic exploitation, inhumanity, injustice, and political extremism. We are watching democracies fracture, truth erode, and compassion evaporate. We're witnessing leaders who weaponize fear, systems that normalize inequality, and societies who refuse to see the sacredness in every human life. These are not isolated events. They're signals that the soul of humanity is under siege. Yesterday's heartbreaking and unacceptable shooting in Minneapolis further illuminates the point. It reminds us that when policies are driven by force and fear, human dignity is always the first casualty. This is why the work of the King Center and our King Holiday programs matter deeply now. We are not just remembering history, we're training people to practice nonviolence as a way of life and to transform the conditions that allow violence to thrive. Across the nation and the world, people are anxious. People are weary. People are retreating into silos, into tribes, into fear, into echo chambers, because despair has convinced them that hope is naive and community is impossible. Across the world, we see leaders crossing moral and human boundaries in pursuit of power, resources, and control. We watch in dangerous silence with eyes wide open the genocidal violence from Gaza to Sudan to Congo. And here at home, we are experiencing the separation and dehumanization of people who are simply seeking safety and dignity. We see efforts to dismantle tools like DEI that were designed to correct injustice and expand opportunity for Black and marginalized communities. But hear me clearly. This is not the hour to shrink. This is the hour to rise. The theme Mission Possible is not a slogan, it is a global alarm, a moral siren,
a call to every conscience unwilling to surrender humanity's future to hatred, fear, violence, or despair. My father warned us, we must learn to live together as brothers, or together we will be forced to perish as fools. His words were not poetic, they were prophetic. And today, as inequality grows, families struggle to survive, and tensions rise, that warning echoes with renewed urgency. We must choose division or community, fear or courage, chaos or nonviolence. And I say to you today, with the full weight of my father's and mother's legacy, that mission possible is a lifeline. It's not optional. It is mandatory. It reminds us that even in the darkest hour, we are not powerless. The challenges we face cannot be solved in silos, by scapegoating, by canceling, or retreating into hardened camps. They demand a renewed commitment to justice, empathy, shared responsibility, and our common humanity, which is the beloved community. My father also said on many occasions that we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. That means our survival, our flourishing, our future, all are collective. When any community is pushed down, the whole nation sinks. So what does building community and uniting the nation the nonviolent way truly require? It requires truth-telling, even when the truth is uncomfortable. It requires courage, especially when fear is fashionable. It requires listening, not to respond, but to understand. It requires accountability, not for punishment, but for transformation. And above all, it requires love, not sentimentality, but a fierce, disciplined commitment to the well-being of all people. Nonviolence, as my father taught, is not passive or weak, as some believe. It is a power harnessed by love, strength disciplined by conscience, and truth armed with courage. It is justice organized with strategy. It is the only force strong enough to break the cycles of violence. Nonviolence 365, as we teach, is about equipping people to confront injustice without creating new oppressors or becoming what we oppose. It is a love-centered way of thinking, speaking, acting, and engaging that leads to personal, cultural, and societal transformation. And we need that force again, not tomorrow, but now. So I call on every activist, every leader, policymaker, artist, entertainer, educator, media commentator, social media influencer, and young person hungry for change, step into this moment with fire, focus, and fearless love. Building community is not someone else's job. It is your job, my job, our collective mandate to choose the non-violent way. Not because it's easy, but because it's the only path that leads to life. Violence, on the other hand, is a system and a mindset that distracts us from justice. Violence destroys the future. Nonviolence builds it. Violence fractures community. Nonviolence restores it. Violence hoards resources. Nonviolence ensures all share in Earth's abundance. And in this moment, when artificial intelligence is reshaping our world, building community is definitely not optional. It is a moral imperative. If we do not strengthen the bonds of our shared humanity, we risk being overtaken by systems with no conscience, no compassion, and no moral memory. AI is rewriting economies and even recreating the voices and images of those like my father who can no longer speak. The question, though, is, will our conscience be stronger than our code? Will our ethics be bolder than our algorithms? Machines can learn patterns, but they cannot learn love. They can process data, but cannot honor or defend the dignity of a single soul. Only we human beings can do that. And if we do not anchor
This technological revolution in love and moral vision, it will deepen injustice instead of defeating it. My father warned of the giant triplets of racism, militarism, and extreme materialism. Those triplets have now grown up, and they travel the world through social media, economic policies, weapons of war, and even our technologies. They whisper, protect your tribe, hoard your wealth, fear your neighbor, dehumanize your opponent. But there is another voice today, the voice of nonviolence. It says you can resist injustice without losing your humanity. It says you can confront power without copying cruelty. Nonviolence says you can build a world where technology serves people, not the other way around. So what does Mission Possible 2 require of us in this age of war, fear, rage, and AI? It requires that we reclaim what makes us human, that we refuse to let lies amplified by machines drown out truth born of conscience, that we resist the temptation to retreat into silos or surrender to despair, that we rise above division and choose the courageous work of community building in our families, where children learn that worth is measured not by followers, but by humanity. Building in our neighborhoods where we cross lines of race, class, politics, and faith to listen, learn, and love. And online where we demand that platforms promote justice, transparency, and respect. Mission Possible 2 challenges us to believe that unity is not naive, it is necessary. That nonviolence is not weak, it is warrior work. That even in an age of artificial intelligence, moral intelligence must lead the way. So today, let this be our charge. We will not bow to fear. We will not surrender to hate. We will not outsource our conscience to machines. We will build community. We will unite this nation the nonviolent way, because the soul of humanity, the future of democracy, and the moral direction of our world are at stake. This King Holiday, let's not simply honor my father's memory. Let us continue his mission. Let us rise with moral fire so that future generations may say they chose love over apathy. They chose justice over fear. They chose unity over division and community over chaos. They chose nonviolence over non-existence. And because they did, the mission prevailed.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all again. My name is Andres Washington. I'm the Special Events Project Manager here at the King Center, and I'm happy to share with you what we have planned for this 2026 King Holiday Observance. Guided under the theme of Mission Possible 2, Building Community, Uniting a Nation, the Nonviolent Way, the 2026 King Holiday Observance is a powerful week-long experience convening global leaders, artists, educators, young people, innovators, and communities from around the world to advance the unfinished work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. through celebration, education, storytelling, dialogue, and sacred reflection. This observance moved beyond remembrance and into action, inviting everyone to participate in building the beloved community. I now present to you the calendar of events. King Holiday Observance Kickoff, Monday, January 12th at 11 a.m. through 5 p.m., the King Center campus. This is free and open to the public. The official launch of the 2026 King Holiday Observance sets the tone for an extraordinary week of purpose and possibility. Families, community members, and visitors are invited to gather on the King Center's campus for a day rooted in joy, service, and preparation for collective impact. Guests will explore empowerment fairs, spotlighting community resources, enjoy food trucks, and participate in Nonviolence 365 trainings for all ages, reinforcing nonviolence as both a philosophy and a daily practice. Next event, there is an evening feature at 6 p.m., Hoops, Hopes, and Dreams. You'll hear a little bit more about that. in just one moment. On Thursday, January 13th, the nonviolence training called Be Love, Building Community Through Truth, Power, and the People. As a part of its year-round Nonviolence 365 initiative, the King Center hosts a timely and practical training exploring how communities are built and rebuilt through truth, people-powered action, and moral courage. Grounded in Kingian nonviolence, participants gain tools for applying nonviolent principles to real-world challenges. On Tuesday, January 13th at 7 p.m., Beloved Community Talks. Why We Can't Wait, Building Community, Uniting a Nation Through Nonviolent Way. Presented by the King Center's Better Together program, this Beloved Community Talk examines Dr. King's insistence on immediate, courageous, nonviolent action as a blueprint for healing our divided nation, strengthening our community, and moving forward together. Wednesday, January 14th, Beloved Community Teach-In, which is a virtual global participation event, is a global learning experience for educators and students worldwide. The Beloved Community Teach-In offers a cohesive PK through 12 curriculum anchored in Dr. King's address, What is Your Life's Blueprint? Through age-appropriate lessons, creative expression, and civic reflection, students are positioned as active builders of the beloved community. The Beloved Community Global Youth Summit on Wednesday, January 14th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the National Center for Civil and Human Rights. This is invited schools and will be streamed globally. The 2026 Youth Summit will bring together 250 students from across the metro Atlanta area and from around the world to focus on streaming culture and social media, exploring how platforms like TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube can become spaces for positivity, inclusion, and purpose. This immersive, high-energy experience brings together middle school students for leadership, learning, and digital empowerment. Youth Summit highlights include a dynamic pep rally with Grammy Award-winning kids DJ Willie Wow, a Summit Spotlight performance by Eris Harris and Van McConaughey of Abbott Elementary, a live puppet show and book reading of It Starts With Me with Dr. Bernice A. King, co-author Dr. Kimberly P. Johnson, and the debut of the book's main character, Amora, brought to life in puppet form. Both readings will stream live, first at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and the second one is at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. There will be youth panels on streaming courage, Building Safe Communities Online, moderated by Dr. Dorothy Jean Tillman II, featuring youth influencers Carlos Espina, Mari Little Miss Flint Copini, and Jordan Your Amazing Smile Brown. There will be a film screening of Hoops, Hopes, and Dreams, and a powerful closing fireside chat with Dr. Bernice A. King, Grammy Award-winning artist and philanthropist 2 Chainz, and his son, entrepreneur Halo Epps. This will be moderated by Emmy Award-winning radio personality Ryan Cameron. The summit culminates in the Beloved Pledge and a collective commitment by young people to lead with empathy, responsibility, and purpose. You can register for the book reading at kingcenter.events.com/read2026. The Joys of Justice Welcome Reception, Wednesday, January 14th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Carter Center. This is an elegant RSVP-only event welcoming summit participants and distinguished guests to Atlanta. The Joys of Justice Welcome Reception offers a rare opportunity to connect with Dr. Bernice A. King, your Atlanta-based consulate generals from around the world, and global leaders committed to justice and peace. This reception serves as a celebratory bridge from the Youth Summit into the Beloved Community Global Summit, fostering relationships, international dialogue, and shared purpose in a historic setting. The Beloved Community Global Summit, Thursday, January 15th through Friday, January the 16th at the National Center for Civil and Human Rights. Mission Possible 2, A Future We Build Together, is a 2-day convening of global leaders, innovators, creatives, and emerging change makers exploring bold, solution-driven approaches to peace, justice, and unity, rooted in Kingian nonviolence. The summit highlights includes opening keynote by Dr. Bernice A. King, an opening plenary moderated by Dr. Rashad Ritchie with panelists Dr. Bernice A. King, the CEO of the King Center, Paige Alexander, the CEO of the Carter Center, please wave your hand, Jill Savitt, the CEO of the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, Natasha Reed Rice, where are you? Natasha Reed Rice, Habitat for Humanity International. And then there will be panels on housing, justice, peace building, artificial intelligence, capital access, economic empowerment, and the future of technology, presented by Habitat for Humanity International, the Carter Center, Operation Hope, Inc., the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, and the Kapoor Foundation. A midday masterclass, The Power of Storytelling, Shaping Culture through Purposeful Media, featuring Kathy Hughes, founder and chairperson of Urban One Radio, and an evening masterclass, Hope is Strategy, Why Economic Dignity is the Civil Rights Issue of Our Time, featuring John Hope Bryant, founder and chairman and CEO of Operation Hope, along with a summit closing keynote address, Authentic Leadership for Critical Hour, presented by Howard Wright, Vice President of Inception at NVIDIA. On the evening of Thursday, January 15th at 7 o'clock, there will be a red carpet film screening and conversation of Nothing to See Here Watts. Join us for an unforgettable red carpet evening spotlighting the powerful storytelling as a force for justice and healing. Nothing to See Here Watts Center voices from Watts, Los Angeles, exploring what happens when communities are seen not through stereotypes, but through humanity. Join 14 of the filmmakers and producers, Michael Sonnen, Suzanne Malvo, and Brandon Stick Salim. Join the audience for an immersive post-film conversation moderated by Tip T.I. Harris, examining how art, truth-telling, and collective courage can transform narratives and lives. You can RSVP for this event by going to events.com/Watts. The Martin Luther King the MLK Jr. Beloved Community Awards is Saturday night, January the 17th at the Hyatt Regency, starting at 7:30. The signature celebration of the King Holiday Observance, honoring extraordinary leaders and organizations whose impact embodies Dr. King's vision of justice, unity, and love, hosted by Aldous Hodge and Tony Award-winning actor, singer, and Disney legend Anika Noni Rose. The 2026 honorees include the Beloved Community Coretta Scott King Soul of the Nation Award is going to be given to producer and actor Viola Davis. The Beloved Community Environmental Justice Award is going to be presented to activist and singer Billie Eilish. We will honor other organizations such as the Sesame Street Workshop, the LeBron James Family Foundation, Dr. Dorothy Jean Tillman Cisco, Monica Ramirez, Robert F. Smith, Cody Sudine, Warwick Dunn, and the MLK Commission of Arkansas. Live performances by Chance the Rapper, October London, and Guapale. Presenters and special guests include Rockman Dunbar, Ian Armitage, better known as Young Sheldon, Keisha Knight Polium, Kareem Jean-Pierre, and additional distinguished guests and honorees. This elegant evening features a pre-reception and hors d'oeuvres at 5 p.m., a live red carpet at 5:30, and a celebratory afterglow with iconic Grammy-nominated R&B funk band Confunction, presented by Enscapes. You can get your tickets at the kingcenter.events.com/BCAs 2026. The Martin Luther King Jr. Beloved Community Commemorative Service is on Monday, January 19th at 10 o'clock at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church. This is open to the public, broadcasted on Fox and global live stream. This is the culminating moment of the King Holiday Observance, honoring the life and legacy and enduring moral leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King through sacred reflection, prophetic witness, and inspiring artistry. Featuring participants and notable guests, keynote speaker, Reverend A.R. Bernard, host, Reverend Natasha Reed Rice, and Reverend Reginald Sharp Jr., musical performance by Pastor Shirley Caesar, Lady Tremaine Hawkins, Bishop William Murphy III, Mark Gutierrez of Aware Worship, Wanda Yang Tenko of the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, Candy Pretty String Smith, and American Idol winner Jamal Roberts, with special tributes by Essie Cupp, Dr. John C. Maxwell, and Carmen Perez, and more. This sacred service calls together community called global together. This sacred service calls the global community forward, reminding us that Dr. King's work remains unfinished and urgently needed. Dr. King reminds us that the beloved community is not built through words alone, but through action, courage, and love in motion. This year, King Holiday Observance invites each of us to move beyond commemoration and into commitment, to build community, to unite a nation, and to do so through nonviolent way. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Hayat Na to tell you more about the 2026 Service Project. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. My name is Hat Nawad, and I serve as the Director of Volunteer Services for the King Center. In partnership with Morehouse Oprah Winfrey Scholars Program, we will host the Service Project in Atlanta on January 19th, 2026. Across the nation, individuals and groups will host service projects across multiple states, including Mississippi, Utah, California, New Jersey, Arizona, Maryland, and throughout Georgia. We invite individuals and organizations nationwide to participate in our National Community Service Project initiative, a movement that encourages meaningful service to strengthen communities and advance Dr. King's vision of the beloved community. If you are hosting a service project or have already signed up to volunteer, we ask that you register your project on our website so that we can highlight our collective impact. All service projects, whether individually or as part of group, can be registered online on our website. Registering your project will allow us to track national participation, celebrate your efforts, and showcase the collective impact of communities across the country honoring Dr. King through service. Additional information about hosting, registering, or participating in a service project is available on our website. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Dr. Shanika Perry. I am proudly representing Hands on Atlanta this morning as the Director of Impact Programs. Really an honor to be here for two reasons. One, personally, the other, professionally. Personally, there's not a moment that I can recall growing up where the names of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott didn't fill the room of my household for two reasons. One, my family is from Selma, Alabama, and my grandfather, the Reverend Ananias Perry Jr., practiced nonviolence because he was wildly influenced by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and my grandmother, Vera Mae Perry, had attended high school with Coretta Scott in Marion, Alabama, and so we heard those names quite often in our household, and so it's almost surreal to be standing here honoring the legacy of the King family, who felt like and feel like my own family members. Professionally, really excited to be here on behalf of Hands on Atlanta because our days of service for MLK are probably our favorite signature event that we host. It will be concurrent with what is occurring at the King Center. From January 12th through the 19th, we have over 50 nonprofits who will be supporting the efforts of amplifying the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We will mobilize over 3,000 people in the Atlanta community. Hopefully all of you will be included in that count to participate in those service activities and those events, from meal kits, from STEAM kits to beautification efforts. All of it matters. All of it is important in this moment. It is a day of remembrance. We're also thinking of our week at Hands on Atlanta as a week of revolution. To Dr. Bernice King's point, now is the perfect time. Now is a very divisive time, and we are coming together in the name of community to combat that narrative. So again, thank you so much for allowing me to even be here to talk a little bit about Hands on Atlanta, and again, really excited for the days of service that are coming up. make sure that you're a part of it. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Helen Butler, Executive Director of the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, a nonpartisan nonprofit organization founded by the late Dr. Joseph Eccles Lowry. And I am so happy to be here as a part of the King celebration as we partner with them to do a lot of what is most important, getting us engaged civically. And you know, Dr. King, one of his greatest speeches was give us the ballot. And we are talking about what the ballot can do, because on this election cycle, we have all of the constitutional officers on this ballot, beginning with the governor, going down to the Secretary of Agriculture. But we also have 2 public service commissioners that will be on the ballot statewide. But more importantly, when we talk about some of the judicial reforms and juvenile justice reform that we need, we'll have judges on the ballots. We'll have district attorneys on the ballot and a Supreme Court justice on the ballot. So we're going to be doing voter registration at all of the events, but more so than just registering us to vote, it's getting us educated about the ballot. We have a U.S. Senator that will be on the ballot. And beginning March the 10th, we'll start off with a congressperson runoff election, primary election for a congressional member, Marjorie Taylor Greene, District 14. So that starts March the 10th. But the general primary is May the 14th. So we want you to get ready. Know all of those dates that you need to have. Be engaged. Get to know all of those candidates. We'll be holding candidates forums. We'll be going throughout the state of Georgia. We have 8 offices across the state, and our offices will be engaging people to get them educated about this election cycle. It is critical, as always. The ballot means a lot. We can make a difference with that ballot and having access to the right to vote. You know, it's ironic that we're still fighting that battle to have a voting right, the right to vote, but we are continuing that fight that Dr. King and so many others started to make sure every person has access to the ballot, but more importantly, people of color can have that access to the ballot without any kind of encumbrance. So be with us, join us as we register people throughout King Holiday weekend, a week, but also we do this 365 days. So anytime you want to join us with getting people educated and register to vote, but more importantly, mobilize to turn out to vote. Record numbers can make a difference. When barriers in place, the more people that turn out, the more that the barriers are not counted. So please get involved. Know who is on that ballot, what they stand for, and hold them accountable for what they promised to do. So join us as we get people civically engaged. Give us the ballot, and we can make a difference. We can have the representatives that will represent us, and more importantly, we can make our communities strive and thrive through great policy changes. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Reginald Chappell. I am the superintendent of Martin Luther King National Historical Park and Preservation District right here in the Old Fourth Ward. We're across the street from the King Center here, located on 35 acres of National Park Service land. We welcome over 1 million visitors per year to this area, and we pump back into the local economy $35 million. We were created in 1980 through the efforts of Coretta Scott King and Congressman John Lewis, and the King Center is our forever partner. So we are in that inextricable web of destiny and love that Dr. King talked about earlier today, and we like to think about it as being spider people, you know, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, and there is an African proverb that I'd like to actually think about on a day-to-day basis. It says that when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. And we are definitely in that web and tying up lions with the King Center. That said, I am pleased to join Reverend Dr. Bernice King and the King Center in celebrating/commemorating the 97th birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We will feature a list of events intended to complement the King Center events that you heard earlier. And so those include a birthday observance that will happen at Historic Ebenezer Baptist Church. And so we'll kind of kick it off, and then it will end with the King Center being there. And so we will have Ferris Watkins actually reading to young people. And so the daughter of Christine King will read to young people, and then our partner, the National Parks Conservation Association, will give them free books. And so they'll be able to then have a birthday cake downstairs in the Fellowship Hall of Ebenezer Baptist Church, and we'll sing the birthday song along with them. We'll have a volunteer day of service in the park where there'll be various activities that are happening on January 17th. The first event is on January 15th. The Beloved Community Gospel Tribute will happen on Sunday, January 18th from 3 to 5 p.m. once again in Historic Ebenezer Baptist Church. Finally, we will have a birth home block party. I said, that's what I mean. It is like a block party. We'll block off the streets between Boulevard and Hogue, and that is the historic district where the birth home is located. And we'll have tents there where you can learn more about the history of the park, where we celebrate and commemorate where Dr. King was born, lived, worked, worshiped, and is buried. And there is a preservation district along Auburn Avenue that we're responsible for as well. In addition to that, we will have the birth home tours, but you'll not be able to go into the home. As you can see, it is still under construction. We'll be finished with construction in June 2026. And so you'll have the ability, yes indeed, say that out loud. I feel that it's been a journey. So we recently got another $850,000 to finish the homes, because you know when you go into older homes and you open up those walls, things happen. And so Congress has been kind to us. But in the meantime, we will have some virtual tours that will happen. So you'll be able to click on the QR code and you'll be able to walk through the home with me narrating it as you walk room by room. So even though we don't have you being able to walk through the home, you can do so virtually. That said, we look forward to a safe and successful King Holiday. And I just want to say thank you to everyone.
First of all, please be seated. You honor me with this standing ovation. My name is Billy Mitchell. I'm a Georgia State Representative, and I happen to chair the state's Martin Luther King Jr. Advisory Council, and so proud to be a part of this press conference. My charge, self-appointed charge when becoming the chair, is to make certain that the observance at the Capitol, where so much of Dr. King's legacy forms the opinions and the policy in our state, is the best that it can be. Before I go any further, enshrined in law is that a member of the King Center staff must be a part of this council, and I'm so glad to be able to recognize Barbara Harris here, who's that representative, and her participation is invaluable. Wave your hands just like you just don't care. Barbara, she does a wonderful job. This year, January 16th, 10 a.m. at the state capitol, I would hope that as many of you as possible can come out and be a part of that gathering of advocates, of students, of citizens, and certainly of elected leaders from the governor, lieutenant governor, speaker, and of course members of the state legislature who will be there for this observance and this program. And I must tell you, as I said before, his legacy is one that shapes public policy even to this day. You know, Dr. King said it's not enough to integrate lunch counters if people do not earn enough money to buy a hamburger. And what he was saying was desegregation alone was incomplete if it still lacked fair wages, jobs, economic opportunity. Being allowed to sit at a lunch counter meant little if it was impossible to actually participate. And to that end, our speaker is going to be John Hope Bryant, the president of Operation Hope. I know Ernest is going to talk more about that. Certainly we want that vein to be uplifted. And I must say about my fraternity brother, yes, Dr. King was a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I had to get that in, Ernest. You know, he's a good man, and we must make sure that we do all that we can to in his backyard, no less. As a matter of fact, after you come to the King program at the Capitol on the 16th, you can go on the campus of the Capitol and see the erected statue of Dr. King. Like I said, I hope to see as many of you as possible can be there on the 16th, 10 a.m., and it is free. Thank you so very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tamara Orange, and I am the representative for the MLK March Committee. And this year we have our activities listed as on Friday, January the 16th. We have our annual prayer breakfast at the Zoo Atlanta, and it is sponsored by the Atlanta North Georgia Labor Council, and it starts at 9 a.m. On Saturday morning, we have our annual youth conference, and we will be tackling artificial intelligence, and we will be having artists come in and talk to our youth, and we will be discussing artistic intellectual property and the influence of artificial intelligence as it takes over our world. And Ms. McKinney, you are more than welcome to come and speak to our youth about the artistic intellectual property. Call me, girl. On Sunday, as has been previously mentioned by the superintendent, is the gospel expressions at Historic Ebenezer. I'm sorry, let me go back. Our youth conference starts at 10 a.m. and it will be at the IBEW Auditorium at 501 Pulliam Street. And proceeding going forward, again, our gospel expressions at Historic Ebenezer. And on Monday, we have our Ruston Lord Prayer Breakfast at 10 a.m. and the location is the Laudermilk Conference Center. And the coup de grace of the weekend for me is the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative March. Let me say that again, commemorative march. Feet on the pavement. There will be, it's not a parade, so we won't have floats, we won't have bands. It's a commemorative march. And in honor of the 40th anniversary of the first federal holiday, let me emphasize federal because we've been doing this in Atlanta since 1969, but the first federal holiday, I have had a vision of having all of the children of the movement to stand in their parents' place and march in their footsteps for them at this march, especially with everything that our parents, my father, Dr. King, Ambassador Young, with everything that they worked so hard for being erased with the swipe of a pen. And we also have a new partner this year, Race Amity, and they will be having a Be on Edgewood, where they'll be doing a lot of artistic events. And immediately following our march and rally, they will have an open house where you can go to Edgewood and just look at all of the artists that they have there, and they will have food, music, everything that you would want to see. And you can find all of this information at www.mlkmarchatlanta.com. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jill Savitt, the CEO of the National Center for Civil and Human Rights. It's wonderful to see all of you, and it's always a comfort to be on the sacred grounds of the King Center, which shapes the moral imagination of not just our city, but our country and the world. I give deep thanks to the Reverend Dr. Bernice A. King for her leadership at all times, but especially in this season, as we hear every time she speaks, including this morning. Her compass points true north. And we appreciate all of our colleagues at the King Center who have clearly been working so hard to pull together this extraordinary series of events. At the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, our mission is to connect the past to the present in ways that move people to action. And this mission comes alive very powerfully through our display of the Morehouse College Martin Luther King Jr. collection, which we are privileged to present on continuous rotation in our Committed Life Gallery. These sermons and letters and photographs, speeches, and other artifacts of Dr. King's are not just historic documents. They challenge us continuously. They bear witness to tell the truth about who we are and what we're called to be. Access to these artifacts really matters. And so on January 17th, in observance of the King Holiday, the center will have a free admission day so everyone can come. Dr. King's legacy belongs to all of us, and everyone deserves the opportunity to engage directly with his moral vision. Those who come to the gallery are in for a special experience. The current and inaugural of our reopening curation of the King Papers, our guest curator for that gallery is none other than Dr. Bernice King herself. Her curation brings unique authority and integrity to the gallery's interpretation, and her presentation insists on honesty over comfort, on courage over convenience, and she invites our visitors to wrestle with the unfinished work of the civil rights movement. In addition, our center is so honored and grateful to be able to host the King Center's Global Summit next week. We are so proud to open our space for conversation that meet this moment with seriousness and hope. Mission Possible really has never been a more crucial message. This year's King Holiday comes at a time when many people are tired and divided and uncertain about the future. Dr. and Mrs. King lived through moments like ours, and they and the King Center caution us that silence and complacency come at a cost. So let us commit ourselves this holiday to join Mission Possible. We just treasure our ability to link arms with Dr. King and the King Center and all of the partners gathered here who are carrying on a sacred tradition of solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Paige Alexander. I'm the CEO at the Carter Center, which is right down the street. And as Jimmy and Rosalind Carter were, as they like to say, involuntarily retired from the White House, they picked their site within distance of here. And so for us, we are thrilled to be hosting the opening reception for the week as we kick off. For those of us who are not youth, the latter part of the week. And I look forward to working with other institutional leaders in Atlanta for the opening plenary session as we talk about a future that we need to build together and what it takes to truly unite a nation. And as Bernice was talking about, we are at that moment right now. And so I look forward to having as many people there as possible to talk about what this new normal looks like for us. We'll also be working with our conflict resolution program and the panel they are putting together to coordinate a panel on global peace building. You know, we talk about all politics being local, but the reality is all development is local. And the proximate nature of everything that we are facing, whether it was during the civil rights movement or whether it's now, is important. And we have seen that at the Carter Center on a global peace building measure, and now we are seeing this domestically. And so I think it will be a very interesting panel. The connection between the Carters and the Kings go back quite some time. Governor Carter put in the state capitol the first portrait of Martin Luther King, and Daddy King in 1976 introduced Governor Carter as he was running for president and said, "Surely the Lord has sent Jimmy Carter to come on out and bring America back to the place that we need to believe." And so that connection goes back quite far. President Carter in 1980 declared this the federal recognition of the National Martin Luther King Historical Site. And as Bernice and I go back far because my father was actually the King estate lawyer. So we have those connections, as Shanika was talking about. I grew up with this in my house. So we are very proud to be partnering with the King Center on this. Reverend Dr. Bernice A. King is a trusted partner, and as we look at all of what Atlanta has to offer, we welcome people to look at this week as a point not to retreat into silos, but to in fact advance our shared agenda together. So looking forward to it. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is LaShonda Dawkins, and I serve as Chief Administrative Officer for MARTA. Thank you to the King Center for welcoming us as we begin the 2026 King Holiday Observance. MARTA is honored to stand alongside you once again as we reflect on the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and Mrs. Coretta Scott King. Public transit has always been about more than movement. It is about access, equity, and community. Dr. King understood this deeply, calling public transportation a genuine civil rights issue because of its role in connecting people to opportunity and participation in public life. For more than a decade, MARTA has proudly partnered with the King Center to help bring that legacy into the present. This partnership reflects a shared commitment to showing up for communities and ensuring that Dr. King's principles remain visible and relevant. This year's theme, Mission Possible 2, Building Community, Uniting a Nation the Nonviolent Way, reminds us that unity is built through everyday actions and shared spaces. Community is not abstract. It is created through connection. One way that mission comes to life is through MARTA's Dr. King and Mrs. Coretta Scott King commemorative bus, which will once again operate on Route 3, traveling along MLK Drive from the King Center through Sweet Auburn and Atlanta University Center to H.E. Holmes Station, and serving neighborhoods like mine that continue to carry Dr. King's legacy forward. MARTA has also preserved the historic 1955 bus, which will be displayed across from Dr. King's birth home on the King Holiday. It stands as a powerful reminder that one nonviolent act rooted in courage and conviction can change the course of history. Let's all stand together and continue to do the hard work. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mary Ann Balbo,
I am the president of Clear Channel Outdoor Atlanta Market. And for those of you who might not be familiar with Clear Channel Outdoor, we are one of the largest outdoor advertising companies in the country. You've likely seen our billboards scattered around our community here in Atlanta, as well as across the entire country. So on behalf of all of us here at Clear Channel, we're truly honored to join the King Center today here in Atlanta, the birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., alongside so many who are committed to carrying forward his legacy of justice, peace, and public service. At Clear Channel, our mission has always centered on connecting communities and elevating messages that matter the most to our communities. So because our billboards are physically in the neighborhoods where people live, work, and travel, we believe that we have a responsibility to use our media in ways that can inspire positive change. So yesterday, we announced a new partnership with the King Center, one rooted in a shared commitment in honoring and extending the vision of Dr. King and Mrs. Coretta Scott King, so it continues to reach and empower future generations of leaders. So I'm excited to share that starting next week, communities across the entire country will see this partnership come to life through our new campaign that reflects the spirit of Dr. King's work. These messages will appear on our digital boards here in Atlanta and nationwide, reaching millions of people throughout the King holiday. So our hope is that bringing these messages into communities, we inspire reflection, encouraging learning, and fostering meaningful connection. So on behalf of all of my colleagues at Clear Channel Outdoor, I want to thank the King Center for welcoming us today and for bringing everyone together to kick off this special celebration in honor of Dr. King. Thank you.
All right, we're getting there, you all. Thanks for the marathon. I want to thank all of our sponsors and partners for working with us. This is such an important endeavor, and we look forward to our continued partnership. Last year, we announced the launch of the King Center's official King 100 commemoration of my mom's centennial birthday in 2027 and my father's in 2029. We have two of our national partners with us today who will briefly share the initiatives we are undertaking together for my parents' centennials. Ernest Nicholson, president of Hope Initiatives at Operation Hope, will come, followed by Natasha Reed Rice, who is vice president of Global Housing Opportunities at Habitat for Humanity.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. We're almost done. We're almost done, and I promise you I'll only take 20 minutes of these 2 minutes they allotted me. No, seriously, my name is Ernest Nicholson. I'm the president of Operation Hope Initiatives here at Operation Hope, and I couldn't be more pleased to be here for the kickoff of this holiday celebration. Dr. King, thank you so much for your invitation and the work that you do. Dr. King is also a member of several of our Hope boards. So the work is ongoing and actually works with us here at Operation Hope. The King Center 100 that's coming up here to commemorate Dr. King's 100th birthday is a capstone program at Operation Hope. We're working with the King Center to actually build out childhood savings accounts, our CSA program, to provide childhood savings accounts to kindergarten students across the country. We've started here, thank you. We've started here in Atlanta. So the program is not a glint in the eye. It's actually ongoing as we speak, where there are 10,000 students right here in Atlanta that have their first childhood savings accounts. there is clear evidence that shows that children that start school with a savings account are 70% more likely to graduate school than others. I'll say that again. Children who start with a savings account, no matter how much it is, start with a savings account in school are 70% more likely to graduate than others. We have the receipts on that. On behalf of Operation Hope and Chairman John Hope Bryant, it's an honor to stand here with the King Center, Dr. King, and so many respected leaders, institutions, and partners. We continue to carry forward Dr. King's work, not only as history, but as a responsibility. This year's theme, Mission Possible 2, reminds us that the beloved community is not a distant aspiration. It is not impossible. It is something that we build deliberatively, collaboratively, and courageously, especially in moments like the ones that we're living in right now. At Operation Hope, we believe that economic empowerment is a cornerstone of nonviolent social transformation. When people have access to financial dignity, fair credit, pathways to ownership, and real opportunity and jobs, communities stabilize, trust grows, and unity actually becomes possible. Today, that work also means preparing people not just to be financially literate, but to be future literate. They're able to navigate technologies and economic systems that will shape opportunity in the years ahead. What's most powerful about today's gathering is not just the voices that are represented here, from civil rights and education to housing, transportation, faith, technology, culture, and government, but the shared commitment to move from principle to actual practice. This is what Dr. King actually called us to do, to translate these values into action and hope into actual outcomes. Mission Possible 2 is a call for all of us to lead with intention, to partner across sectors, and to ensure that the work that we do today creates opportunity for generations to come. We're proud to stand along the King Center and Dr. King and our partners as we continue to work together, proving that building a community and uniting a nation is not only necessarily, but eminently achievable. Thank you, God bless, and let's keep doing this work. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm very excited to be here with you all in this capacity representing Habitat for Humanity International. I want to give thanks to Dr. Bernice King and her staff, Barbara and Andres, Vanetta. So many of them have been working in tandem with my team. One of the members of my team, Joshua Rogers, is here on our continued partnership with the King Center. As many of you probably are aware, whether by lived reality or by your own understanding of policy, in this country we continue to wrestle with the legacy of a federal, state, and locally mandated segregated housing system. That segregated housing system has affected our civic engagement, affected the inequities within populations throughout this country, and have fed into the poverty, been influenced by the racism, the three evils that Dr. King spoke so eloquently and powerfully about. And it is a legacy that Dr. King was very well aware of, and who kept his eye and the eye of the movement on the prize of equitable housing opportunities for all. One of the ways in which we see the impact of Dr. King's focus on this was just 7 days after his assassination, the Fair Housing Act was passed. We're still waiting for that to come to pass in this country in many ways. The work that Habitat has done and continues to do, the work that we want to continue to elevate and amplify through our partnership with the King Center, is work that works to make more equitable housing solutions available to all of the people in this country, and we obviously have a global mission as well. When we make that housing accessible and affordable, we are able to not only bring forth equity of access to housing, which includes equity of access to credit, but we're also able to close the wealth gap and the home ownership gap between white America, Black America, and other communities of color. And when we do so, we create communities that thrive because our real estate system, our property system funds our educational system, which funds so many other aspects that touch our lives: equitable access to health care, access to healthy foods, access to healthy living, and access to transit. When we think about how all these pieces work together, they're all a part of creating a beloved community. So we're excited at Habitat to continue our partnership, our beloved community partnership with the King Center. And I'm often reminded of Dr. King's quote when he says, "The darkness can't drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate can't drive out hate, only love can do that." Habitat's mission is putting God's love into action by bringing people together to build homes, communities, and hope. So when we think about how we partner and who we partner with, I can't think of a better partner than the King Center and the work that we're doing to build beloved community all over the country and the world. We are excited to be a part of the Global Beloved Community Summit that we've heard about and Andres spoke so quickly and eloquently about. We're very excited to be a part of those conversations. And more than that, we're very excited to be a part of the King 100. What does it look like to activate an existing network of close to 1,000 Habitat affiliates who are all focused on bringing housing opportunities to communities of need, communities of ability, communities of capacity all over this world? It looks like creating beloved community. We realize at Habitat that we don't build a home. We build homes and communities. In order to do that, we've got to, through our King 100 partnership, continue to inspire and stir up volunteerism all over the country. We're going to continue to inspire and elevate the work that we're doing to actually build concrete homes. But we also realize that in building houses, we also want to build thriving communities. We are doing the work of bridge building all over this country. I really believe that that's God's work and that's courageous work in this moment. How can we help people come together across difference? Help people come together to actually have conversations, to figure out how we can all live together in this world house that Dr. King spoke so powerfully about in his finally published book, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community? At Habitat, we're excited to be courageously partnering with the King Center in building community, in building hope, in building homes together.
So right now, we urgently need moments that bring us together, remind us of our shared humanity, and sports often do that. With this in mind, the King Center is pleased to announce our partnership with US United. As an element of that partnership, the NBA's Denver Nuggets will feature Unity seats in games on January 17th and 18th, the weekend preceding MLK Day. Unity seats bring together people from different backgrounds who might not otherwise meet to demonstrate that we can build community. Denver players Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon donated the Unity seats, where 4 community members and 2 local sheriffs will connect and experience a game together. These moments especially matter in a world where division is louder than unity and can ignite relationships that foster true peace and help create the beloved community that my father envisioned. We look forward to doing even more of this as we look at some of the other leagues. Now I want to introduce Kalisha Graves, our Chief Research, Education, and Programs Officer, to briefly speak about our exciting partnership with Oglethorpe University, and she will introduce the person who's representing Oglethorpe.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So the King Center is most excited about our partnership with Oglethorpe. My name is Dr. Kalisha B. Graves. I serve as the Chief Research, Education, and Programs Officer here at the King Center. And so this opportunity with Oglethorpe is a remarkable opportunity because it represents a strategic link between the King legacy and higher education in terms of institutionalizing our work in that space. And so we have multiple lines of engagement, if you will. So we have a student internship program, and Dr. Kendra Molman will speak about that momentarily, but we have a student internship programs, curricular partnerships, where Oglethorpe will serve as the official institution of record for our Nonviolence 365 curriculum, as well as we'll be offering micro courses as well. We'll also be partnering on collaborative events as well as faculty research opportunities. And so we see this as a repeatable model for other colleges and universities, but not only a repeatable model, but an investable model. And I use the word investment very intentionally because the King Center is good ground. And the work that we do here yields immeasurable dividends in the lives of the people that we touch. And so at this time, I will bring up, before I bring up Dr. Moment, I also want to say that this partnership centers the King Center as a national intellectual treasure. Okay, a national intellectual treasure. And so at this time, I will call Dr. Kendra Molman, who is the Associate Provost and Professor of Politics at Oglethorpe. Dr. Molman.
Good morning, everyone. We are excited to share in this partnership with Oglethorpe University. And just by way of backdrop, I had the opportunity for many years as a junior faculty member to travel around the nation and world with Dr. Bernice King. So this partnership is a coming of age, if you will, of the service and educational commitment of both Oglethorpe and the King Center. For those of you who are not familiar with Oglethorpe University, we are a liberal arts institution here in Brookhaven, Atlanta. We have one of the largest first-generation, multiracial, and neurodivergent populations in the city of Atlanta that we cater to. When we talk about being an academic partner, I will give you the quote that many of you know from Dr. King, which is, "Education plus character, that is the true goal of education." And what we're doing in this partnership is fourfold. The first is that we currently have 4 students who are part of the King Center Scholars Program. Our goal over the next 3 years, because that is the commitment of the partnership right now, is to have at least 20 students matriculate through that partnership. This is an 8-month internship. It is a paid opportunity, which is a blessing to many of our students who also have to work full-time while they attend college. So we now have 4 students. We hope to double our efforts in 2026 and again in 2027. Phase 2 of the partnership is what we call an academic accreditor and partner of the Nonviolence 365 program. As many corporate entities know, a few years ago, the King Center piloted Nonviolence 365. I'm actually one of the subject matter experts in that curriculum. I'm excited now that we at Oglethorpe will give academic credit for students who take Nonviolence 365. Yes. One of my primary responsibilities as the leader of this partnership is to now begin the work of looking at what courses within Nonviolence 365 are able to become academic credit partner courses, and we hope to release that by August of 2026. The third phase of this partnership is a senior fellow. Oglethorpe and the King Center will work to have colleagues from Oglethorpe whose subject matter expertise are similar to that of Dr. King to come here and to be fellows. They will have access to the digital archives, and there are publishing opportunities that way, as well as being voices, additional echoes, if you will, of the great work of the King Center. And then lastly, one of the things I'm very excited about, as you know, many people have been called out today, from Miss Barbara, as I affectionately call her, to so many others. We at Oglethorpe have what we call micro courses. These courses are condensed and intense courses where a student can take a course for 1 week and receive 1 credit hour. These courses can also go longer where they can receive more credit hours. I'm pleased to announce that we will be partnering with the King Center, and King Center staff and subject matter experts will be able to come to Oglethorpe and teach these micro courses. Let me tell you a little bit of a secret. Lean in for a second. My major goal is that before this partnership is over, that Dr. Bernice King herself will teach a course at Oglethorpe University. Can I get an amen? So again, on behalf of President Catherine McClyman and Oglethorpe University, where we say we make a life, we make a living, we make a difference, I'm honored to share and introduce this partnership. Thank you.
All right, it's getting better and better, huh? All right, it's worth your time today. I know it's a lot, but it's important in light of the theme that we have for this year as well. Many people don't know that my father had a mean left hook. He could play some ball. And we're just excited about our partnership with the producers and directors of Hoops, Hopes, and Dreams, Anscape, who will be here on Monday evening, the 12th, to show the short film, Hoops, Hopes, and Dreams. And I want you to look at the trailer now. It shows another side of my father and how my father and Barack Obama used the court to connect to people and to bring them into very powerful movements.
What happened?
Martin Luther King,
Barack Obama. Their destiny is connected to each other with basketball.
In the civil rights movement, nobody knew what was going on in the South. The only thing we could do is go where the kids were on the basketball court. To know that Martin played their game makes them listen.
I played basketball with Obama. He says to me, we want to win, but we want their support too.
What is it you're willing to give your life for?
What happens when an outsider rides with police officers through what?
So join us on Monday, January 12th for Hoops, Hopes, and Dreams right here in the King Center Theater. We have a red carpet. I believe they gave you the time, but you can go to our website to get all of the details. Now, I'm really excited as we think about our theme, Mission Possible 2, Building Community, Uniting the Nation the Nonviolent Way, about this documentary that was done about Watts. I had an opportunity this summer to go to, Benita, help me. Is she here? Aspen, the Aspen Institute, and was able to see this very powerful documentary. You would think that the people who did it had gone through nonviolence training, understood the concept of the beloved community, and I'm excited that we are bringing them here. They will join us on my father's actual birthday, January 15th, at the College Football Hall of Fame for the reviewing of that film, Nothing to See Here, Watts. When I tell you that community has been transformed in a very powerful way because somebody saw the value in people and let them tell their story and brought them into community together to create this story, and then decided we will also use all of the proceeds to invest back in that community. That is true equity and inclusion. And so I present to you now the trailer, Nothing to See Here, Watts.
Outsider rides with police officers through Watts, a neighborhood in South Los Angeles, known as one of the most violent and divided communities in the country. That night, he witnessed shootings, murders, and heartbreak. He went home, waiting to see the story on the news. There was nothing. Looking for answers, he asked more than 200 gang members, police officers, and victims of violence to film their lives. 20 said yes. For the next 3 years, using only the phones they were given, They opened their lives to the world, raw and unfiltered. And in the process, the incredible happened. This is their story.
Within LA County is Watts.
This area is home to more than 65 different gangs.
Cornelius is from Nickerson Gardens, Bounty Hunter Bloods. Tyrone's from Jordan Downs, Grape Street Crips. Those two housing projects have been at war for 40 years. And then to find them here at this table, how wild is this?
That's where I grew up at, right here.
Whether you're black, white, Asian, Mexican, when you come, you're gonna feel it. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
You just hear it is true what they say. It's a black neighborhood, no one gives a fuck. If we want it raw, it gotta be raw.
Don't sugarcoat it. This is Watts. This is what happened to us.
There's no words for a mama when her child is murdered.
You're trying to get a good night's sleep and you hear the helicopter.
Taking huge chances for people. Questioning, right? Is it worth it?
This environment will bring the worst out of you, man, if you ain't strong.
They took my peace of mind. I can't trust nobody.
I'm not scared, I'm not shocked. I'm like numb.
We can't depend on nobody else to save Watts. If y'all want to save Watts, it starts within Watts. We Watts right here.
We call this our silent mark. Parents bring out their murdered loved one's shoes. These are little people, y'all.
I didn't have a father to show me how to be a father. He's everything. I'll make sure you know. We can try to come up with a ceasefire.
Having everybody in that room together was kind of nerve-wracking.
My first concern was safety.
The potential for things to go sideways in that meeting was huge.
Like, we can't be in here saying we cool, you know what I'm saying, shake each other hand, whoop, and then we out in front of our homies to be.
And maybe this helps turn the knob just a little more towards less violence.
Could the area change? Could it become decent? Could these kids all see a future?
When kids play together, eat together, sleep together, they're not gonna be able to quick to kill one another.
I forgive any one of my enemies to let my kids make it and grow up here to make Watts flourish.
It's about us developing new leaders.
Just putting our lives and reputation on the line.
Y'all put something together, brother, that's gonna go all over this world, and it's gonna promote peace. And it started right here in Watts.
Wow. Don't tell me it's not possible. I'm going to stay in my seat because I am a preacher, so I'm going to stop right there. Just go out. Okay. I got to say this. With God, all things are possible. Yes, Lord. And with that said, the King Center is delighted to announce that we will be releasing the first official documentary about how faith impacted and shaped my father's work. And so I want to call up now Dr. Graves to share briefly with you about our documentary, When Faith Calls. And she will introduce the trailer, and then we'll be on our way. You made it to the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. King. As Dr. King mentioned, we are most excited about the King Center's inaugural docuseries. What we will present to you today is a short sneak peek. It is a 6-episode docuseries, so about 90 minutes of content that will release later this year. And at the King Center, we believe deeply in the power of storytelling and film to uplift and inspire transformative conversations.
And certainly, this project has been about 3 years in the making and has taken thousands of hours of research and the beautiful contribution of some delightful partners. So I want to ensure that we recognize them. The series was created in collaboration with Ashley Woods, who was our curatorial lead on this project, as well as Lark Media, who was our production partner. Absolutely, and so they focus on social impact storytelling. Also, it's important for us to note that the King Center's very own King Library and Archives led the archival production for this series, and a national treasure. And as in collaboration with the Luster Company, an archival services firm that allowed us to supercharge our research capacity, if you will. And so we would be remiss, though, if we did not acknowledge the sponsor for this opportunity, the Lilly Endowment, who fully funded this endeavor. And this was funded through their Religion and Cultural Institutions initiatives, where the purpose is to advance the understanding of religion in society. And 3 years ago, when we had the conversation with Dr. King, she was very intentional about ensuring that people understood that her father was first and foremost a pastor, a faith leader who happened to impact civil rights. And so in this film, we conducted dozens of interviews, and so you'll have an opportunity to see monumental folks, individuals in the faith. And so that's Dr. Bernice King is featured, Reverend Otis Moss Jr. We have Dr. Susanna Heschel, who is the daughter of Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. We also have Reverend Naomi Tutu, who is the daughter of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. We've interviewed members of the King family, scholars from the Union Theological Seminary. So we've engaged people from all walks of the academic space. And so we're certainly happy about this opportunity. And so just to give you a quick introduction to what you're about to see, the first part of the series focuses on the formation of Dr. King's faith. And so you'll have to just come back and see us to learn about what happens in the rest of the series. And so at this time, we are pleased to share with you all the world premiere, a sneak peek of the King Center's docuseries, When Faith Calls.
We are now the arena of life, and their battle intensely against all of the forces of injustice, exploitation.
Mom, Dad, he heard a voice. The voice said, Martin Luther King Jr., stand up.
I have the pleasure to present to you
Stand up for justice, stand up for freedom, stand up for righteousness.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And I will be with you always.
Martin Luther King was one of a long line of Baptist preachers.
This is where it all began, the Ebenezer.
The Black church had the central role in the social fabric of the Black community.
We had a small black and white television, and we saw the scenes of what was going on.
I refuse to accept the idea. If you're willing to speak truth to power, then you have a cross before you. That mankind is so tragically bound. And he saw himself as bearing a cross. To the starless midnight of racism.
You cannot choose a ministry. It has to call you.
And war. There's always a Calvary for those who speak truth to power. This opposition has often...
King put all of us on notice to find the courage and integrity to do the right thing.
My mom, Coretta Scott King, she often said, I didn't just marry the man, I married the mission.
Go out with that faith today. Some white citizens were threatened. You have to move through a wilderness with prodigious hilltops of evil. Many resorted to violence. Go back to Philadelphia, to New York, to Detroit and Chicago with that faith today.
The whole objective was to instill fear.
Move on with dignity and honor and respect.
But Dr. King became a prophet.
And nothing can be more Christian.
Of love, justice, liberation, and reconciliation.
The universe is on our side in the struggle.
You can't want for your enemy what they want for you and expect things to change.
Somebody has to cut off the chain of violence.
Dr. King's faith was inextricably linked to social issues.
He always asked the questions that unified people.
We cannot hate in response to hate.
It was detrimental to my faith to sit by as people are oppressed. You gotta act.
I don't want to live in a country that denies its history. I want to be in a place that recognizes where we are, but also imagines who we want to be.
We are a part of something much larger than ourselves. And I think a resurgence of faith that's centered on love would change the world.
Wow, that was absolutely powerful. Absolutely powerful. Good job, Alana and the team. All righty, well, this concludes our press conference. If you all have any questions, please feel free to email me at M as in Mary Bryant at thekingcenter.org. We have a few gift bags as you're going out of the theater. Feel free to grab one. We have some of our merch for this year in there. And for all the press, if you don't mind staying behind, if you guys want to do stand-ups, Dr. King is going to do a quick 5-minute stand-up. And for those who are scheduled for interviews, you can stay behind as well, and we'll go to the room where we're going to do the interviews. As for everybody else, we truly appreciate you all coming today, and I hope that you all have an amazing, amazing day. Have a great day.